The firestorm between Colin Cowherd and Deion Sanders has become one of the most fascinating sports debates of the year. Not just because of the personalities involved, but because of the larger question it raises about how NFL players should be developed. At the center of this storm is Deion's son, Shedeur Sanders, whose draft journey has been shaped not only by his play on the field, but also by the philosophies and influence of his legendary father. It all began with Deion's blunt revelation that both the Ravens and Eagles had contacted Shedeur before the draft, but he turned them down because he didn't want to spend his early years as a backup. That decision, in Deion's view, wasn't just about pride. It was about opportunity. His belief is simple. Sitting on the bench doesn't teach you how to become a star. Who learned sitting on the bench? He asked rhetorically. I never sat on the bench and learned a lot. For Deion, one of the most dominant athletes to ever play, growth comes from being on the field, not from watching someone else take reps. But when Colin Cowherd heard that quote, he pounced. He mocked Deion's dismissal of the bench as a place of development, rattling off examples of NFL greats who began their careers in the shadows of veterans before emerging as legends themselves. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre. Tom Brady didn't start his career as a franchise savior. Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, and dozens of others grew while waiting for their chance. To Cowherd, Deion's stance was not only flawed, it was actively harmful to Shedeur's career. Cowherd didn't hold back. He framed the entire issue as a Deion problem, not a Shedeur problem. In his view, Shedeur worships his father, follows his advice without question, and ultimately pays the price for it. Deion was prime time. A generational talent who could bend rules and rewrite expectations. But Shedeur, while a talented college quarterback, isn't his father. Cowherd argued that Deion is projecting his own rare gifts onto his son, failing to recognize that Shedeur's path requires patience, humility, and the willingness to learn even if that means sitting behind a star. His words were cutting. This isn't about you. Prime time, Cowherd said. Your son doesn't have primetime talent. You are a once-in-a-lifetime athlete. He's an after-school special. Totally different ballgame. It was classic Cowherd, sharp, unfiltered, and designed to sting. But Deion has his own logic. To him, the NFL isn't a classroom where young players patiently soak up wisdom from mentors. It's a battlefield where the whistle blows, and you're expected to perform instantly. Teams don't hand out time to develop. They expect readiness from day one. By the time you get to the NFL, Deion explained, they expect you to know what you need to do and to do it, or somebody else is going to get in there and do it. From his perspective, no amount of benchwarming prepares you for that reality. The only way to grow is to be in the fire, to face defenses, to take hits, and to learn under pressure. Cowherd, on the other hand, painted a more pragmatic picture. He argued that opportunities with teams like the Ravens or Eagles are rare gifts, chances that any young quarterback should jump at, even if it means holding a clipboard. Those organizations know how to evaluate talent, and their infrastructure offers stability and growth. Even if Shedeur had been stuck splitting scout team reps, Cowherd insisted, the value of being in those environments far outweighed the pride of refusing. If the Ravens or Eagles call, he said, you take it. You don't say no. The divide is clear. For Deion, the bench is wasted time. For Cowherd, the bench is a stepping stone. And caught in the middle is Shedeur, trying to navigate a career that's already under the microscope because of his last name. What makes this debate so captivating is that both sides have compelling evidence. Deion is right that NFL teams move quickly, and the league isn't built to babysit players. If you can't perform, you're replaced. But Cowherd is equally correct that history is filled with players who became great precisely because they had the patience and humility to wait their turn. The bench didn't kill their careers, preserved them until they were ready to thrive. Ultimately, this is more than just a sports argument. It's a clash of ideologies. Deion represents the self-made, no-compromise path, a belief in betting on yourself and refusing to accept a secondary role. Cowherd represents the realist's view. Sometimes the smartest move is to take what's given, even if it bruises the ego. It's because opportunity doesn't knock twice. The sports world is divided. Fans argue whether Shedeur's draft slide was a direct result of Deion's philosophy or simply the reality of the quarterback market. Some believe Deion's influence is keeping Shedeur from making pragmatic decisions that would serve his long-term career. Others admire Deion's refusal to let his son settle for anything less than the chance to prove himself as a starter. But one thing is undeniable. The controversy has brought a spotlight onto Shedeur that few prospects ever experience. Every decision he makes, every quote from his father, every critique from analysts like Cowherd becomes a piece of his story. And as that story unfolds, it raises a question that resonates beyond football. Is it better to wait patiently for the perfect opportunity, or to demand the chance to shine immediately, even at the risk of failure? So what do you think, Ms. Colin? Cowherd right that the bench can be a valuable place to learn, grow, and prepare for greatness? Or is Deion Sanders right that real growth only happens on the field, in the thick of the action with no safety net? Should Shedeur have taken the Ravens or Eagles' interest as a golden ticket? Or was he right to chase immediate playing time? Share your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown. Don't forget to subscribe for more dramatic deep dives into the stories shaking the sports world.